Hey there! Want to know a fun fact about penguins? Hi! Welcome to our channel, where we bring you fun science, interactives, and experiments for kids and parents to enjoy together at home. Today we are going to learn why do penguins waddle. Before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button below and subscribe for more fun science videos for kids. You can also check out our other videos after this one. Let's get started. A long time ago, people thought that penguins looked funny because they walked sideways. But scientists soon realized that there is a reason why penguins have to waddle. To understand why penguins waddle, we first need to look at how they're built. As you can see here, penguins have short little legs and their feet are far back on their bodies. This is different from most birds, whose legs are tucked up under their bodies. Now you may be wondering, what's the big deal? Well, where a penguin's legs are attached to its body affects the way it moves. When a penguin walks, it lifts one of its feet off the ground, then swings its leg in front of its body and plants its foot back down. Since its feet are so far back on its body, it has to rock side to side as it walks. Otherwise, it would fall over. So, because of their leg position, penguins have to waddle. But why do they have their legs so far back? Well, it's all about balance. Having their center of gravity far back on their bodies helps penguins stay upright when they re-swimming underwater. While most birds use their wings to steer themselves through the water, penguins use their feet. Their feet are like paddles that help them steer themselves in the water, and their legs are far back enough to keep them stable. But why do penguins have to rock side to side when they waddle? It's all about balance again. When penguins waddle, they rock side to side to keep their center of gravity over their feet. If they didn't rock side to side, they would fall over. And if that wasn't hard enough, penguins have to deal with slippery surfaces like snow and ice. Just imagine trying to walk on ice with slick bottoms. It's super hard to keep your balance, but penguins have special rough pads on their feet that help them grip the ice. Even with these special pads, though, penguins still slip and slide around. That's why they waddle side to side, too. It helps them stay upright on slippery surfaces. Now that you know why penguins have to waddle, it's time to test your knowledge. How do penguins stay upright when they're swimming underwater? What do penguins use to steer themselves through the water? And what helps penguins grip onto slippery surfaces? Pause the video here if you want to make a prediction. If you said penguins stay upright in the water by having their center of gravity far back on their bodies, you'd be correct. Penguins use their feet to steer themselves through the water. Their feet are like paddles that help them turn and steer while they're swimming. And if you said that the rough pads on their feet help them grip onto slippery surfaces, you'd be right again. The rough pads on their feet give them traction on the ice, so they do unslip and slide around. Now that you know how penguins are built and how their bodies work, let's take a closer look at how they waddle. Waddling isn't just a funny way for penguins to walk. It's actually an efficient way for them to conserve energy. When penguins waddle, they move from side to side instead of straight ahead. At first, this might seem like a silly way to walk. Why wouldn't you walk straight ahead if you're trying to get somewhere? Well, it turns out that waddling is actually a more efficient way to use energy. When penguins waddle, they're constantly pushing against the ground with one foot or the other. This helps them conserve energy because they have to lift their feet off the ground as high. When they walk straight ahead, they have to lift their feet higher off the ground, which takes more energy. So waddling helps penguins save energy, which is important when they're walking long distances. In addition to saving energy, waddling also helps penguins keep steady on the slippery ice. As you can see here, penguins often slip and slide around when they waddle. But this is actually a good thing. By slipping and sliding around, penguins are able to keep their center of gravity over their feet. This helps them balance themselves and stay upright on the slippery ice. If you've ever tried to walk on ice, you know how hard it is to keep your balance. Sometimes it feels like you're gonna fall. But penguins are experts at walking on ice. They've mastered the art of waddling. Now that you know how penguins waddle and why it's important for them to do so, let's watch some adorable baby penguins waddle. These adorable little chicks are just learning how to waddle. It takes them a few tries to get the hang of it, but eventually they master the art of waddling just like their parents. Waddling isn't just a funny way for penguins to walk. It's an efficient way for them to conserve energy and stay steady on slippery surfaces. Next time you see a penguin waddling, remember that they're not just being silly, they're walking like pros. Now that you know all about waddling penguins, it's time to test your knowledge. What is one advantage of waddling? What helps penguins stay steady on slippery surfaces? And what do you think is the cutest thing about waddling penguins? Pause the video here if you want to make a prediction. If you said that waddling helps penguins conserve energy, you'd be right. Waddling also helps them stay steady on slippery surfaces by keeping their center of gravity over their feet. And if you think that the baby penguins are the cutest thing about waddling, then you're right too. There's just something so adorable about watching baby penguins try and master the art of waddling. Now that you've learned all about waddling penguins, it's time for some more fun. Why don't you go outside and waddle like a penguin? Or you could draw a picture of a penguin waddling. If you want to learn more about penguins, you can check out our other videos about penguins. Just click on the video playlist on the screen now. And do you want to forget to hit the like button below and subscribe for more fun science videos for kids? Thanks for watching. When you waddle, you move from side to side instead of walking in a straight line. This is different from the way most people walk. People usually walk by taking steps in a straight line. When you waddle, you take steps that are angled from side to side. As you can see here, when a penguin waddles, it takes a step to the right, then a step to the left. The penguin keeps going until it reaches its destination. The same is true for humans. When we waddle, we take steps that are angled from side to side. For example, if I wanted to waddle over to that chair, I would take a step to the right, then a step to the left. I would keep going until I reached the chair. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone want to walk in a funny way like that? Well, sometimes it can be more efficient to walk in an angled path than a straight path. For example, if I was walking in a crowded area, it might be easier to waddle from side to side than walk in a straight line. That's because when I waddle, I'm taking smaller steps than when I walk in a straight line. Smaller steps can help me avoid bumping into people. Waddling can also be more efficient when I'm carrying something heavy. For example, if I was carrying a backpack full of books, it might be easier to waddle from side to side than walk in a straight line. That's because when I waddle, I'm distributing the weight of what I'm carrying more evenly between my two legs. Finally, waddling can be more efficient when I'm walking on an uneven surface. For example, if I was walking on a trail that had lots of rocks and roots, it might be easier to waddle from side to side than walk in a straight line. That's because when I waddle, I'm taking smaller steps. Smaller steps can help me stay upright on an uneven surface. So next time you see a penguin waddling, remember that it's not just being silly, it's actually an efficient way for the penguin to walk. And who knows, maybe you'll even try waddling yourself.